Let's get into our last conversation for the day. And it's Tuesday, all about money today. And we'll be discussing your money plan for 2026. Our guest is Elizabeth Waithaka. She's a personal finance specialist. And we'll be talking about that plan, not just a budget, or it's a plan. Good morning.
Morning to you.
It's good to have you in studio. Karibu sana.
I'm so honored to be here.
Before anything else, Janet will share the quote of the day with you. You can see if it speaks to you, if it resonates with you, and then we can start the conversation.
Yes, yeah.
Today's quote was by Samir Amin, and he once said, "A system that cannot reform itself will always call crisis an accident." A system that cannot reform itself will always call crisis an accident. What do you think he meant?
A system that cannot reform itself will call crisis an accident. Lack of preparation, lack of prior planning. And failure to plan is planning to fail. That's what I get from that quote. We need to plan. Yeah. So it doesn't appear like an accident.
Exactly.
Yeah, our personal finances.
Wow.
That it is like already.
She went in.
Straight there. You've done very well to just swim into it.
Yeah.
But why do we always have to start the year? I mean, you've just been celebrating Christmas, celebrating New Year, and then now start the year with so much pressure. So you plan your money, so you plan your year.
I have a feeling she's about to say, it should not have found you planning now.
Yeah.
But let her answer. I have a feeling she'd be like, well, but yeah.
But first, what do you do? I mean, position yourself in this conversation. Place yourself.
I am a personal finance specialist, a money coach, a trainer, another. It's a coding I answer to facilitate people put order and structures in their personal finances for them to be able to enjoy financial well-being. I'm that person who works with you. I'm that money coach. I'm your accountability partner. I'm the person who holds your hand. When you are feeling unwell, you go to see a doctor. When you want to get married, you work with somebody else. But with our money, it's our money. One of the as the personal finance advisors, we are some of the professionals who we require to be, more accepted by the market. Like I can work with you with your personal finances. We talk about everything else, but not about our money.
When I go to see a doctor, that doctor has gone to school and trained to be a doctor.
Yes, yeah.
When I go and I want to build a house and I'll see an architect, they have trained to become an architect.
Yes, yeah.
Well, nini?
Good question. My area is finance, actually, and I'm still pursuing it, but I'm well trained in the area of finance, and there are many arms of finance. There's corporate finance, there's public sector finance, and there's personal finance. So I take the personal finance specialty. I don't want to talk about money that is for nation. I want to talk money for you as an individual. So I'm a specialist in personal finance. What do you do with your money? Yeah.
When we talk about a money plan, I always begin with, you have to have money to have a money plan, right? And it's something that a lot of people get the pressure at the beginning of the year, which is, what's your budget, what's your plan, what are your goals, especially your financial goals for the year. And then a lot don't have income or don't have a steady source of income. In your view, does a money plan need to have money now?
That's a very good conversation you're bringing across. Let me start a bit further before I get to where you've just said. Many of us, as we grew up, nobody taught us about money. It's been a silent conversation. We were taught about everything else except about money. In school, it was missing. At home, it was not there. Our parents were not taught about money. So what do they teach us? In the churches or in the places of worship, it has not been there. That's why sometimes we find ourselves struggling or having those perceptions. So many myths. When I'm teaching children, by the way, I teach children about money. We are demystifying so many myths in children, young as they are. Right. So what about us who are not taught? So when we say that we must have money for us to be able to plan for it, and I'm not ignorant of the situation as it is currently. We are having a challenge of unemployment. So many people do not have a source of income. I'm not ignorant about that. Yeah, and it is possible that that money is retro. Even those of us who have got an income, me included, the money is retro. And I'm putting retro in quotes. Because nobody feels, in this world, nobody feels like they have enough money, you know. Yeah. So you don't have to have money for you to start planning. When we say that we plan when we have the money, we miss the point. We have seen people who have interacted with so much money. People who have won jackpots, and I'm not saying that gambling is a way of making money. It is not, yeah. But within no time, that those people, they are back to where they started, or even worse, before they got that money. So if we say that we wait until the day we have money for us to start planning, we miss it.
Okay, so you plan whether or not you have, what is it, an inconsistent income stream, no job. What does it look like if you're not financially stable? Or if you don't have work, or if you're not even making money, then what am I saying? I'm like, okay, I'm not making money right now. Are you saying
But I'm making plans for future money.
But I'm making plans for future money.
Yeah.
Without to make the money.
Yeah, without somebody saying you're delusional. What does it look like? If you're talking to me, it's like, I'm Janet, okay, I really want to make money.
Yeah.
I need to, so that I can start a small business, so that I can take my kids to school. Where does that person start? You know,
sorry to interrupt, but just on what you're saying, there's there was a trend on TikTok like a year back where people would be like, oh, I want to move out of home, or I want to buy a house, and what they would buy first is a key holder, right? I want to buy a car. Again, a key holder with like the logo of your preferred car brand, things like that. I don't know if similar exists for money.
That goes into like vision board. But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Let's start from here. When and personally, I said I teach kids about money. Kids don't have money, but they are still doing something about their personal finances. Can they start even learning that money is not bad from as young as they are? So even those people who do not have an income, don't just sit there. Educate yourself. Start running. What is a budget? How do we even budget? Even before you get that money, yeah? Can we start running? Can we start having a checklist? I want to have another source of income, or I want to have even the first source of income to start with. Can I just start by educating myself? What are the different options, even if they are not available to me right now? It is right now. Tomorrow, the situation may be different. And I want to quote the good book when I'm saying that. It says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That tells you knowledge is power. So even without an income, start running financial literacy. It is highly missing in so many of us. That is already financial planning itself. Financial literacy, very, very important. You don't want, when we are teaching kids or when we are running in class, we always say that learning about money is like learning how to drive. You cannot just wake up one day and take the car and drive. You're going to cause a lot of dangers to yourself, to other people. I mean, to people's properties.
It's a good perspective.
You know? So can we start learning? Personally, when I started driving, I used to follow a bus because I cannot overtake. And then the bus is they are writing people and others are boarding, and I'm waiting behind that bus. You know, it took time for me to be able to overtake. Kwanza the 51-seater. It was a very big seat. Mombasa Road was a big deal for me. Yeah. But now I've become better. Can we even start by running? Let us not fall into that trap. The situation is not good. I confirm that. And I'm in that field, I'm in that market. I interact with people and I see how the situation is. But let us not allow ourselves to fall into that pit of feeling, having pity on ourselves. Let's just start by running. Start by doing the retro by retro. Retro by retro, actually, the good book says that. Yeah.
I like that. Don't weigh yourself. what you can do what you can. And I like your perspective because it's practical, right? It's what am I able to do right now, or what can I do in the future? Can I start educating myself? So now that we're in matters education, as we get into a new year, again, even for those who now do have incomes, whether consistent, inconsistent, whether big, small, all in quotes, what is the importance of a money plan and beyond a budget? Because we were talking earlier and we're like, you know what? Budgets seem to be permeating. People at least, kuna Excel is a budget kila mahali.
And I'm so glad that the smartphones came. Now we are able to access some of these things that have been missing in the past. Like when you say there is an Excel for our budgets. And let me say here that many people fear budgets. Some people would rather walk barefooted than budget because it becomes like a reality check. Yet, a budget is something that will give you freedom to use your money or to feel like you don't have that pressure. That pressure we were talking about, by being able to budget your money, if only you know how, it removes pressure. It gives you more freedom budgeting your money. To know that I may not afford to do this now, but I can do it tomorrow. It is in my budget. The pressure actually goes down if only we are able to appreciate. And again, because we were not talking about money, we don't know where to start with budgeting. And let me say here, depending with who you are or the situation, we are all different. Even in this studio, we are all different. And we handle our money differently. And what works for you may not work for me. There are those people who don't want to use, there are 3 ways to approach it. Just the budget, if I'm to dive deeper into the budgeting, because it is very major at this point. We don't want people to start budgeting when it is Christmas time. Please start early. There are 3 ways of approaching it. There's the pay yourself first, and we'll come back to that. Can you use the pay yourself first mode of budgeting? If you're not the person who would want to know, this is how much I pay my rent, this is how much I pay my fuel or my transport, this is how much I pay my house girl, this is how much I pay my phone, just pay yourself first. There's something we call the 50-30-20 rule, and I'm already going to the second one. 50-30-20 rule. 20%, it says 50% of your income should be enough for your needs. Needs are those things that you cannot do without. And mostly, or from the rule of thumb in personal finance, needs are only 5. Your food, your clothing, your shelter, school fees, and healthcare. If 50% of your income is, if your needs are more than 50%, you are living beyond your means. That's the first reality check. So this 20%, if you don't want to go to the details of the 50 and the 30, because people find it sometimes overwhelming, and the 30% is your wants, the fun stuff to have, the entertainment, the donations, the givings. If then you don't want to go that direction, just take 20% of your income, pay yourself, put structures, put order. Once you pay yourself, what remains with the rest? Now, maneuver.
What does paying yourself mean?
Paying yourself, the remaining 20%, and it does not have to be 20 is the perfect. It means that you are able first to create an emergency plan, put something for yourself. I don't want to live all my life working for other people. I want something for myself. So have an emergency plan, have a savings plan, start planning for a holiday.
That's in the 20%.
The 20%.
So if only 20% is going into those things that are really going to matter to my life.
Let me say.
I expected you to say 50.
No. If I say 50, it will not be practical.
Why the lower percentage to pay yourself? Pesa wewe ndio umetengeneza, and then you're getting the short end of the stick.
The 20%.
Yes.
When I'm paying my house rent, is that house for me?
No.
It is not, but that's where I live, right?
Yes.
When I'm buying my food, that's still for me.
Yeah.
But when I'm paying my road, I'm paying other people.
Yeah.
When I'm paying my phone, I'm paying other people as much as I'm the person who uses. So I want to say 20% is not for other people. is for myself. As much as I'm the person who still enjoys the 50 and the 30, the 20% is especially for Elizabeth. I'm the one who goes to work every morning.
Okay.
And many times we find ourselves, you've gone to work 30 days. Then, when you receive your salary, it's for others. And we don't realize, when you pay your rent, when you pay your fuel, you pay your food, you are paying other people. Where is money for Elizabeth? And it's me who went to work every day. Sometimes I came here feeling unwell.
Okay, I get that. So now the 20, just so we don't confuse it,
Yeah.
is it 20 ya kurudishia mwili shukrani, piga sherehe, or it's 24? What do I do with the 20?
I like that. Kupigia mwili pole. Hata mimi napenda kupigia mwili pole. Yeah, but it's on a budget. Yeah, and it is not kupigia mwili pole. Can we put kupigia mwili pole in the 30%?
Oh.
Yes, yeah. This 20%, create an emergency plan, have an investment plan, make your money work for you so that you don't spend all your life with your hands only working for your money. Money is a very faithful servant, the good book says. It's only bad when it is a master.
So 20 is for savings and investment.
Savings and investment.
30 is for?
That is for wants. Wants are your entertainment,
Okay.
the fun stuff,
Holiday.
the giving and donations. You know, many of us are
Black
village
tax.
heroes, so we are the people who do all the
So
things in the
30%
village.
black tax is also in that.
Black tax is within the 30%.
Okay.
What many people?
Wouldn't black tax be a need? Because sometimes it's expected. It's
Yep.
not nikijisikia ntatuma pesa. It is, there's someone who, if you don't send, they don't go to school.
Yep.
If you don't send, they don't have rent or they don't have food.
I know. Black tax is a big deal, especially for those of us who come from some certain spaces, and I like where I come from. But black tax, the village knows their girl went to school, so all the needs in the village are sent to me. I cannot manage for sure, so we need to do it on a budget, and it cannot be a need. The rule of thumb, according to personal finance, needs are only 5: food, clothing, shelter, school fees, and healthcare. If you add something else there, you are breaking the
Stretching
rules,
it.
and it's gonna hit you back.
This way, it was 20 for essentials.
No, for investments and
Oh, for
savings.
investments.
Investments,
30 was for fun times.
saving.
50 now is for
Your needs.
For the needs.
Yeah, for the needs.
Food, shelter, clothing,
Healthcare,
healthcare, education.
school fees, yes. Those are the 5 needs. And for some of us, some of our viewers this morning, they are not paying school fees. I mean, they have a medical cover. That means this 20, you can add it. Yeah, you can intertwine that formula and say it is 30%. Yeah, and actually, for some of us, like myself, wherever I am at in life, I'm at a very crucial point because of where my children are. The school fees is almost overwhelming. So don't make it perfect. What makes a difference with personal finances is not perfection. It is consistency. And you cannot manage to be consistent unless you have created structures with your personal finances. So it starts from creating structures. Many people find that conversation overwhelming because they do not have structures. We go back to the quote you started with. If you don't create a system, a small system for your personal finances, it will still come back as so many accidents.
Some people might argue in low-income households, how do I have a emergency savings, etc.? They might argue, okay, that could work for a certain demographic, but for somebody else,
Can't afford a 20.
who can't afford a 20, what do you tell them? Or how do you work with them?
The 50 is already a struggle.
That's true. The 50 is a struggle. 30 is probably non-existent. Now we're looking
For
at
many, actually, if you just think about it, look at Nairobi living.
Yeah.
There's no way 50% of income is going to cater for these 5 things. It's going to be 80% of income catering for these 5 things. Rent alone is over 30%. Health and school fees is high. Then food is high. So 50% is going to be it's going to be stretched, and you'll find yourself playing in the 80% zone for what should have been the 50. So you're only left with 20 to cover the other 30 and 20. Now the 30% is now where you are also doing all these other things. Okay, so new weekend, this so on and so forth. Transport to work, because transport was not added into those things, So you are left with zero to go into paying yourself.
You are bringing two conversations in that. Now, let me first start addressing with the small households. And it's a real issue, especially for us who are living in the urban. And we don't own houses in this urban area. We pay rent. I can confirm it's a big deal for many of us. But then, why we use the 50-30-20 is so that you're able to adjust your lifestyle as much as possible to your circumstances. If you're earning 10,000 Kenya shillings, please adjust your lifestyle to that, to the 10,000. If you're earning 100, put your lifestyle, because then, let us say it is not practical as you are saying. So then, you end up spending 110% of your income. Where will this 10% come from?
Hard question.
Yeah, it is a reality check for many of us.
I know.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I see what you're saying, and I completely agree with it. But just going with that same example, sometimes there's a certain level that you will not be able to downgrade without having an extra cost at something. For example, you earn 10K, you live within that 10K.
Yeah.
So you want to go to a place that you'll pay rent about 1,500, right? You'll end up spending a lot more on very many other things. Transport, you'll be buying water, you'll be paying per toilet use. All those things will be adding up. Plus the insecurity, plus where are you raising your family, right? You want to raise your family in a place that you feel that there's some level of dignity, and you feel that this may not meet that level of dignity. So you're caught between that. This is my reality, and this is the other reality that I want to try and avoid. Right?
On the other hand, there's a place that's 5,000 shillings, half your income, but closer to your place of work, maybe
closer to a
public school, yes.
Safe-ish neighborhood.
Right. Toilet inside the house.
Now, if you don't drink enough water, that's a rule of thumb for your physical health. If you don't drink enough water, irrespective of the situation or the circumstance you are in, your body will hit back. With personal finances, the solutions are only two. Solution number one for what you are saying, contain your spending. Very, very key. Solution number two, increase your income. Those are the only two solutions with the personal finances. So then if you look at your 50-30-20, is not able to sustain your income. However, you try to contain your spending. Can we then look at your income? Yeah, can we increase your income? Can we have another stream of income? And as I was walking in, I was looking at a verse. I was confirming where that verse is in the good book. And I saw it is in Ecclesiastes 11:2. It says, have 7. I'm rephrasing. Maybe those are not the words of the Bible. I'm rephrasing. But it is Ecclesiastes 11:2. It says, have 7 streams of income. If not 8, how many do you have?
Elizabeth, those are things you when you're having breakfast.
No, I'm willing to demystify just a bit of that conversation, because again it feels like the pressure we were talking about.
Right. Because then what is a source of income? Because then there's one Mariam who has 24 hours a day. How many jobs and businesses can she do and run?
That
She's
brings in
the nation. She has Mariam Caterers. She's trying to be an influencer.
Yes.
That's already 24 hours gone.
Something that we have not been taught, and let me bring it across based on what you're just saying. We have got an active and a passive source of income. Yourself, when you are speaking to us here, that's inactive already. You must appear here for us to be addressed. That's active. When we say that you have another active source of income, it is very, very challenging. But it is possible, and that's why I'm saying please appreciate the services of a money coach. Work with a money coach. I'm not saying that we give solutions like this, but we are able to brainstorm based on your situation. Right. Can we have some ways of creating passive income? And it is possible to create a passive income. So that does not have your involvement.
So I'm trying to think of, let's say, 35,000 shillings a month is how much I earn.
Yes, yeah.
I want a second, but my work takes majority of my day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. When you add traffic and commute, it's 7 to 6 at best. how can I create a passive source of income with that?
Okay, a good question. One of the best ways to create a passive source of income is through investments. The power of compound interest. I should have a session here to just talk about the power of compound interest. Retro by retro, step by step, one day at a time, create an investment. There are different investment options. Even as retro, as a money market fund, your compound interest starts there. Yeah. And that is the basic, that is the must have. All of us who are here in this studio and those who are listening to us, everybody should have at least a money market fund account. And then once you start moving with that, next year, a time like this, you'll be somewhere in terms of your income. So investment is one way. Personally, I'm a writer. I should have brought some of my books here. I wrote those books in the year 20, I don't know which year. Most of them. They are still selling. Yeah, that's passive income. I don't need to do anything. I just print and present them. And they are still selling. Another source of income. Many of us here are very good writers, but we have not gotten that intention. So we look at your situation, your circumstance. Rental income, people who are creating rental income, you do very, very little. And nowadays we have got very many ways. We have got unit trust coming to the real estate. You are able to own a small piece of building in the real estate or in the financial market.
Right.
Let us explore those options because we say the solutions are true. If you want us to look for the third solution, where is it? You either contain your spending or you increase your income. And that way you are going to manage.
Third is miracle. Third one. Let me read that verse. Ecclesiastes 11.
Yeah.
Actually, let me just do chapter 11, maybe verse 1 to 6. Okay? Verse 1, ship your grain across the sea. After many days, you may receive a return. Verse 2, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. 3, if clouds are full of water, they pour rain on earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there it will lie. 4, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Number 5, as you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. And 6, sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. Basically, don't rest.
Wait. From like how many years back? Anyway, some rules are rules, huh?
Imagine.
I don't know. You know what that says to me? Many parables in there. The biggest thing I'm taking from that is divesting and what she's saying about multiple streams of income. It cannot be all eggs in one basket.
Diversify.
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 And I think post-COVID, it became a big conversation, right? I think a lot of, especially because there was now the digital space came to life.
Yes.
So a lot of people are making even passive income.
True.
And are very passive. Or you're not taking too much time. There's a consultancy you're doing an hour a week that's able to earn something. But yeah.
It's also like the death of the 9 to 5 is
The death
coming.
of the 9 to 5.
We're moving more to a gig economy, which is things are short term and they're contractual and you operate from wherever. Especially in the corporate world.
Yeah.
So then.
Yeah.
Is that already divested? I don't know. Maybe you'll tell me that. Because there was a lot of security. A lot of the planning that personal finance, this is just my opinion, the way that personal finance rules are set up are very much set up for employed people who have steady income, who are able to predict, who are able to say, I make 35, so I can spend 10 on rent or 5 or 8, and then I can put this and that, and I can put this for school fees and for food, and it's all good. But the way the world is moving is incredibly different. So I don't know how personal finance is also moving to change. I mean, is also moving, in tandem with that. A lot of people have short-term gigs right now, young people especially. It's 3 months here, it's a week there. Jano called me for for a gig. That one I don't even know. Is it a week or 3 days? I can't even value it. But I know she's paying me 20K. That's it. How does personal finance evolve for the young person who is not in that traditional job market?
No, that's a good perspective. And there are so many emerging issues in the space of personal finance. It's not being left behind by what is happening in the world. Like, for example, what I've just said, like we have unit trusts in the real estate. That's an emerging issue. It is something that has not been there.
Right.
Now, this smartphone is also one of the emerging issues in personal finance. It is helping us learn. The knowledge that was not there, it is now flowing. I can just go into YouTube and I'll get a lot of solutions there. So there's a lot of also emerging issues to help us grow in the personal finance, if only we are intentional. If only we are allowing ourselves to walk that journey step by step. If only we are allowing ourselves to appreciate the professionals. Like this field, I'm in finance. My area is purely finance. And personal finance is not one of the professional personal finance is not one of the things that have been very vibrant in the past. But right now, we have several or so many personal finance specialists who have come up. That's also an emerging issue. And for entrepreneurs, by the way, you have said personal finance is set in a way like it is for the employed people. Personally, as an entrepreneur, and for many other colleagues of mine who are entrepreneurs, we always advocate that don't allow yourself to don't subject yourself to your business income directly. Pay yourself a salary as an entrepreneur. It's also one of the things, one of the ways to measure is my business breaking even.
Right.
If it cannot pay your salary and pay the rent where you are operating it from and being able to sustain yourself, that business is not breaking even. But now when you allow yourself that when I'm paid, that's when I buy gas. When I'm paid by customer C, that's when I pay my house rent. You will not make it in business. It's going to hit you back. So we also put structures for the employed people.
Okay. A bit of feedback as we continue because there's quite a lot that's coming. Let's start this one. Amesema tu kwa Swahili. Hata mimi mtu wa hand to mouth. Nadu na plan, jubado kuplan ile pesa ndio kufail planning. Noma si noma nilipigia plan ingine ya 5 years ago. Hadi sahi sija achieve anything. Pesa for pesa planning. Then he's put a laughing emoji. Frederick Karidhi says, the failure to downgrade one's living lifestyle to conform to new earnings. They're basically saying it's like they're saying it's the ratchet effect, living beyond means. Charity Carol Koech, our local problem is the mentality of my money, my choice. We need to start accepting that it's late, but we must embrace money coaches. There's power in a shilling that is directed wisely. Mr. Spenzit, you have no idea how amazing this conversation is. She's right. And I know Latif is asking the questions to ensure the answers are true. The Kikombe is echoing, I think, what Mariam said, the death of the 95, we're moving towards a gig economy, and he's saying, love it. Two more. Mr. Spencer says, the sad reality is that because of how our economy is set up right now, creating a new income will require you to sacrifice. I recommend everyone to get the book Built to Last. The principles are good. And then finally, Kennedy Musabi, 2560 says, awesome conversation. Interesting perspectives there.
Very interesting ones.
Yeah.
When you think about personal finance in the way that you've walked us through, what do you think are the biggest, like, short-term, I would call them wins, or like, gear starters just to start the journey, because we might not be in a position to do 50, 20, 30, 20, right? But you do want to get there someday. What would be like a good place to start? Something to just kick start, actually, that's the word, yeah.
One of the best places to start is to appreciate the services of a financial advisor. Work with someone. Have an accountability partner. Have somebody you are going to brainstorm with. Have somebody you are going to talk to about your personal finances, so that it does not just become a conversation that happens in your mind at night when you are not sleep.
Tossing and turning.
Yeah. Talk to someone. The next way to start maneuvering, little by little. Actually, the good book in Proverbs 13:11, it says, whoever gathers your money little by little, it uses the word little. God knew it's gonna be little, kidogo. Appreciate the little by little. Just like I said, even that hard to mouth person, there's no much money there's no retro money. It is what you do with that retro. And there's nobody in the world who feels like they have a lot of money. No one, even none of us here, feels like we have all the money or enough money. Yeah. But that retro, start even by having a money market fund account. For example, that's the basic, that's the baby class. And many people hear money market and they are thinking, I'm now an investor when I get into a money market. For sure, we need a money market. But it's the most basic. It's a baby class. Just start from there. You cannot go to class 1 unless you have been to baby class. Okay? Let's start even from there. Retro by retro. Even as we trust God, He's the owner of all resources. Silver and gold belongs to Him. As we trust God and we work to be able to make wealth. Okay? And you've talked so much about the young people and the gigs. And let me tell you, the future is in entrepreneurship. I'm not saying there is no future in employment. But being able to do those little things, the young people, because they are mobile savvy, and like us who the mobile have found us here, for those who have found the mobile here, they are tech savvy. There are so many things they are doing to do. University students, people who are in college, to be able to put food on the table. The little, don't see like something is solely true. Just start somewhere, and work with it. Over time, it becomes something. I want you to imagine the mama boga, and I respect the mama bogas. For as the person who is working somewhere and they are earning hundreds and thousands of shillings, do our children go to school? Si mtoto wa mama boga anaenda shule. See, our children have got shoes on their feet. And that of the mama boga also have shoes. The mama boga, or the person who is earning the low income earner, let me not qualify the mama boga, I respect them. The low income earner, the hand to mouth. They don't sleep outside. I mean, they sleep in a house in Nairobi. They don't go to sleep back home. They sleep in Nairobi in a house. So that tells you there's nothing that is truly true. It all depends with where you are at. What is even your attitude towards money? What is your awareness? What is even your money personality? Have you even started from there? You know? And there's something we say with the kids in class, that if you don't tell your money where to go, it will run away. And we have seen it in these streets. People who have had so much money pass through their fingers, but because they did not tell it where to go.
I'm sorry, were you with us in December?
I know. Because it has gone. I wanted to ask you about spending habits that we need to rethink, although I think that's personal. I'm just like collectively, maybe the way we move as a society, are there any spending habits that we urgently need to rethink? Before you answer that, you know, sometimes I think people feel like they don't have enough money. I'm not trying to say downgrade your goals, but is it manifested in what it is that we want to achieve? We want to travel to a certain country. We want to, I don't know, buy a 3-bedroom house. And I wonder whether sometimes it's reframing what success looks like for you. I do want to travel, but maybe I can do it within the country. I do want to own something. Maybe I can start with a bedsitter. I don't know. It's something I've been thinking about. It's just reframing success. Because yes, it's true, you never really think you have enough, but then what is enough for? You don't have enough for what?
And at what point is it negative, in the sense that you are, like you said, downgrading your dreams?
Exactly. How do you strike that balance?
What's practicality and what's, now you just downgrading your dreams.
Just food for thought.
I wish I can I can say a few things based on what you're saying. When we were starting this conversation, we said it is a reality check. The beginning of the year is a good place to do a reality check of our personal finances. You've talked about spending habits, and we said personal finance solutions are only to address your spending. Let me address that a bit. We have got some spending habits that we really need to work on. Like, I see it, I want it, and I want it here and now. And it is maybe somewhere hidden, but it is there. I just look at your earrings and I like them. I want them here and now. Yeah, that's one of the things that we need to address. Can I don't have a problem with admiring them, but can I plan for them? I can say next year time like this, I will get that item. That is one. Number two, sometimes, and for many of us, and given the urban life, we live a lifestyle that is beyond us because we want to keep with a certain class. I mean, my colleagues or people of my class or my education level, they live in this neighborhood. So I have to live there for me to fit in that class. Yet your personal finances do not allow you to get there. So there you just, your chances of growing are limited because now you'll not be able to invest in something that in growing your money, because you are investing all your money in sustaining your lifestyle, that is too much for you. That is something that we didn't need to check. Let us normalize not getting into lifestyle or things that we cannot afford. Let's agree this car is too expensive for me. I may not afford it. Let me downgrade a bit. But also you have mentioned something, and I'm not advocating for downgrading at all. But also you have mentioned goals. Hey, that's a big conversation. Many people live all their lives without any goals. My only goal is not to be broke. So long as, and that is very, very limiting. So long as I've got some little money in my pocket or in my bank account, when I check my statement every morning, I can say, oh, I have a few thousands. I'm okay. I mean, and many people live for that. Can we even, and many people, if we were to write down our goals, many people work better when you have something that you're working towards. Like you're telling yourself, this year, I'm living in a certain neighborhood that now I'm not very comfortable about. One of my goals is to change this neighborhood.
Right.
I'm telling you the rest of the year, you'll be intentional. You start seeing what is that I can do to be able to address this goal. And in personal finances, and especially personally as in my programs, I've got some personal finance planning programs. One of the biggest activities we do is to write them down. Write them goals down. Even if you don't know how it will happen.
Just write it down.
Write it down. You bring the invisible, you make it more visible. And I can tell you, many people we are teleological in nature. That one is not me who have said. All of us here and plus all those who are viewing us, we are teleological in nature. Teleological means we move towards what you think about. I don't know whether you have realized when you want to change your phone and you want a certain brand of a phone, you start noticing it all over, or a car. I want to buy this car. From the day you mention the name of that car, you start seeing it all over. So even when you set down your personal finance goals, you start working towards that. Even when you are waking up to pray or to think, you are praying about your goals. And I can tell you, most of the time, 90% of the time, you'll find the things that you write down, you get to achieve them. And then you are looking back, you are reviewing, and by the way, this is the year, this is the time to review. And for all those who have got goals written down, I welcome you to engage me to be able to review them. Many people come back 2 years, 3 years down the line and they are saying, oh, I wrote this down in 2020. I did not even know how I would achieve it. And this is what I've achieved.
But even as you're doing, sorry, were you going to ask? If you're doing financial planning and budgeting, are there blind spots that people tend to overlook that maybe you can highlight? If that makes sense. Budgeting blind spot for most families. Is there a particular blind spot that maybe if that is addressed, you can begin to go towards a healthier financial planning, but it's a blind spot and you don't know that it's a blind spot?
The blind spot, and in that sentence, you have added the word family. For those of us who are married, one of the blind spots is that we have not married our monies. We marry everything else except
the money is independent.
The money
is single.
Yet it is not me saying, hey, I like the the reaction it is generating. And I'm married, I know, and my spouse, I hope he's watching. My money personality and his, they are so different. So that conversation is fire, I can tell you that. Yeah, and we don't have to have a joint account for our monies to be married. But we are always better together. If we are to budget for two incomes, it is not rocket science that 2 incomes are better than 1. Yeah, because we don't want that my spouse is pushing this side and pushing this other direction. So then when we do something, when we will be able to budget effectively? When will we be able to invest for the family goals? I don't know whether I would call that a bright spot or
I think it is.
or
I
a
think it
mistake.
is.
Yeah.
And for not families and for people who don't have families, for the people you've come across who you've coached, is there a pattern that you see with people that's a blind spot when it comes to budgeting or financial planning?
Quite a number. Like the thought, like they're not thinking the little by little. Yeah.
Okay.
The little by little. Somebody feels my money is too little. Like what we said at the beginning, it is hard to mouth. It's a bright spot right there. There's no money that is much. There's no money that is kidogo. The little by little.
Okay.
Telling yourself, even if I put this 100 or 1,000 or 500 every month, it's gonna, next year time like this, it's gonna be better. But we don't get there. We already feel overwhelmed because my money is so little. That's a bright spot right there. The other bright spot is lack of knowledge. When people present shiny objects, especially in this country, we go learning for the shiny objects. And there are many. Yeah. When somebody tells you, I want you to put I want something, and I see it on social media. I want somewhere I will put 5,000, then it gives you 10, it gives me 10,000 every month. People ask that question. Why can I put 10,000? Then it gives me 5,000
every month.
Unrealistic expectations. So they even get overwhelmed before they start. And even those unrealistic expectations, they break their, eventually they break their habits. Those are some of them. Lack of knowledge.
Unrealistic because I was about to ask whether there's such a thing as an unrealistic budget, but I think you've answered that. What's the best way to approach budgeting? Should you start with income and then budget for the income, or should you start with needs and then budget for the needs?
I would say,
like our government starts with needs. And then budget for the needs. And then there's something we call a deficit. A budget deficit. And then we look at how to finance the deficit. Because we have all these needs for the year.
no.
Then we go to the bank. I need something small.
And that is why so many of us not talk about the government or our country, because we know the situation it is in terms of debt. And as the citizens, we are following that, and I don't talk for the government or for the people. That's why we find many people sinking into unnecessary debt because of our approach. Let us even start from our incomes. Tell myself, I only have one source of income. It's a reality check again. I only have one source of income. I earn 10,000 every month. So in a year, how much is that? So why would I want to have my needs and my wants and my whatever going beyond that? Because now that will lead me into so much debt. Yeah. And the debt will take you'll be digging a hole to cover up another hole.
Right.
Yeah. So can we please start with the income so that we tell ourselves, the Bible has said 7 streams of income, if not 8. Let it be a reality check that I've got only one source of income. I'm far much below the Bible. Can I even get to 3? At least half of what God told us. Because when he put it there, he knew we're going to have 7 or even 8.
But I'm wondering, I always try to remember, that it's men who wrote the Bible. So I'm thinking at the time when they were writing, is like if you're a farmer, do you consider a sheep one source of income?
Camels,
a camel,
sheep, camels.
But the message has landed. This is just me floating.
And it's almost like the message can also be timeless, but it's a valid point. But then if it was livestock, then which it still is for many now, but maybe now it's now digital or gigs or something.
It's the how.
It's the how
to the present. But there was a question from Kelvin Muema asking, how should a person respond to an emergency situation when their financial plan does not include an emergency fund?
That's a good question, Muema. An emergency plan will save you from so many things that messes our personal finance plan. Okay? for that person without an emergency plan, if something happens and nobody knows what the next minute or tomorrow holds, but an emergency plan will help your financial plan to work. Yeah. So
Okay.
even the least emergency plan will help you, will take you a very long distance in terms of planning for your personal finances.
We're completely out of time. Elizabeth Waithaka, thank you. Very educative, very big reality check. Nenda kuangalia kama nimefika 3 ama 4 kabla nifike 7. But thank you very much for being with us to help us just set our financial goals for 2026. Up next, the same conversation will continue on your world, more or less. New year, clear you, setting goals that align with who you are. That's going to be with Winnie Lubembe and Mwikali Mary. That's on NTV, and on Nation FM we'll have Claudia Naisaba and Brian Aseli on the Vibe Shift. And I was going to say tonight, but very soon he will return with another show, maybe next week. From us, Mariam Bishar, Eric Latif, Janet Bogwa, thank you for staying with Fixing the Nation. One conversation at a time. All these conversations, you can find them uploaded on YouTube. We'll see you again tomorrow.